Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the support on the Dortmund video. That was great to see. We've had over 18,000 views, which is the most we've ever got on the channel. So thank you for that. But anyway, guys, enough going on about that and let's get into the video. So it finishes Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. And honestly, my thoughts are it was a really exciting game, you know, end to end. I thought in the first 10 or 15 minutes, both teams looked like they could have scored a goal. It was very sort of attacking early on. But my overall thoughts on the result, I think Newcastle were good, but we ended up being tired later on as well. And I think some people will probably criticise, you know, why hasn't Eddie Howe brought any players on in the second half? But I think that's because, you know, Willock is the only really midfielder on the bench apart from him and Lewis Hall. And I don't think it was Newcastle's strongest bench. But what's your verdict, Dad?
I thought, you know, it was a good goal by Wilson. The first goal, the defender made a good block and then he needed to cushion it with his head and then he had to keep his eyes on it and volley it with his back to goal, which was a really good goal. Really disappointed about the goals we conceded. I thought, is it Lamina he out-muscled Trippier, and Trippier was facing the goal. He wasn't facing the player and you know, he showed more desire to win the ball. I thought Trippier should have jumped with him to try and put him off. Yeah. And then what's really, really frustrating for the second goal is Nick Pope comes out. He's got no one around him. He does this so often. He could take it with both his hands and catch it. There's no one around him and he decides to punch it. And to be fair to Chan, he cuts the ball back with his left foot. And wrong foot's the... I mean, his finish was great and his touch was great. But Nick Pope, you know, he saves loads of goals for us. But he's got to do better there. He's got to do better.
What about the penalty then? Do you think it was a pen? Because on from first glance, who does Hwang kick again?
It's Shaw, I think.
So Hwang kicks Shaw, and it does look like a penalty. We're all thinking it's a penalty, but then gets given, obviously Wilson puts it away, and then you check it at half time and they show you it from a different angle, and I already thought this. I don't think it was a penalty.
It was a really difficult one to see because when it happened in open play straight away, I thought penalty straight away, but then the replays from different angles, it was really difficult because I don't even know if he makes contact with him because his left leg's going up. And then I thought he'd hit his right leg, his standing foot, but I don't think he touches that and he doesn't follow through. So it's like, did he make contact? The way Shaw went down, it looked like it. But I mean, for me, it was like, it was really difficult call.
Yeah, and then as well, there was the Wolves penalty that didn't get given as well. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, talk us through it again, because I'm not 100% sure. I
think, was it where... I can't remember his name. I think it's quite hard to pronounce.
The guy that came on, the Austrian
the Austrian guy.
Wasn't a penalty.
He got pulled by Lascelles and he got pulled down. I don't think it was a pen, but I've got to give some credit to Wolves because, you know, every time they came on the attack, they looked very, very dangerous. Pedro Neto, I mean, he caused so many problems for Newcastle. I mean, the hamstring injury that he got, I think, you know, if he would have took that shot off, he might have actually scored. But Cunha for Wolves, I was also really impressed by him. For Newcastle, again, you know, I thought Wilson didn't start off the game very well.
I tell you, I was really impressed with it was Mark. I know he scored 2 goals, Wilson, but Dawson was very strong. I thought he had a really good game, and I thought Shaw was excellent for us at the back. He was covering. I thought Wolves on the wings with Neto and Nuri caused us lots of problems with their pace. But I thought Shaw was excellent for us, and I thought Miggy did well, and I was surprised when he got took off.
I mean, let's get on to the substitutions because, you know, we were winning 2-1 and Wolves, you could tell we were starting to get more tired. Wolves were starting to dictate the game, having to create a lot more chances and having a lot more of the ball. And then they go and get that goal, but it was sort of like you were just waiting for Wolves to score as Newcastle fans. Now, and then Eddie Howe, straight after the goal, takes off Miggy, who, you know, has loads of energy today. He was probably one of our best players. And he takes him off and brings on Willock. So that is frustrating. But like I said, when you look at the bench, to be fair, the bench wasn't Newcastle's strongest.
Yeah, I mean, he had Richie on the bench, didn't he? And but he lacks pace. And Lewis Hall. And those are players who lack pace. So against the pace of Wolves, I can understand why Howe didn't put them on. But after 60 minutes, I turned to you, Charlie, and I said, he needs to make a change here. We'll look really tired. And I thought he would have bring Willock on there. I know he's coming back from an injury, so he might be protecting him because we've got, you know, games coming up and the squad's really stretched now. But I thought we'll look really tired. And one thing that frustrates us so much, and you was telling us to calm down, is that we love Bruno. He's a cracking player. But so many times in that second half, he was having too many touches of the ball. He was having his head down and he was getting dispossessed, and they were counter-attacking and nearly scoring. And against a better quality of team, we would have conceded goals because of that. He's got to cut that out. Howe's got to tell him to get his head up and get the ball past, because he has too many touches too many times. He's a great player, but that's one part of his game he needs to improve.
I mean, I thought there were times in the game where Newcastle were a bit sloppy on the ball as well. We gave it away quite a few times to Wolves as well. But I think, of course, having that Champions League game against Dortmund and the Champions League games really does affect it. But it's really disappointing. To be fair, I think in general, if you were to look at this game from a neutral point of view, probably a fair result would have been a draw. And as well, from a Newcastle point of view, it's frustrating that we didn't win. But Wolves also, you know, created a lot of chances. And, you know, if Wolves actually had a clinical goal scorer, I think they could have scored three or four.
They do. Cunha's a very good player. Technically, dribbles the ball well. He runs at players. But one thing that lets him down is his finishing. And if Wolves had a centre forward, they'd be much further up the league, because they've got some really dangerous players, some technically gifted players. And like I say, I was really impressed with Dawson today at the back. He was really physical and strong.
Semedo as well.
Semedo did well. He did made a couple of mistakes, but overall I think he did well. And Gary O'Neill's doing a really good job, because he hasn't had a lot of money to spend, to be honest.
Yeah, but overall, I'm going to give you my final verdict. I think it was a very good game between two good sides who were eager to win. Newcastle probably were unlucky to concede that goal, I think, because we were tired. Wolves created a lot of chances. So overall, I think a fair result was a draw, but it's frustrating as Newcastle fans as well, because we wanted to win. It's frustrating about the injuries as well. I mean, what were your thoughts on Lascelles?
Yeah, I thought he did all right in parts. Sometimes he gets his body position wrong, and you know but overall he's come in and done a good job for what we're missing Botman. The squad's really stretched now, and with, like you say, you make a good point with having the Champions League game on Wednesday. Then it's a quick turnaround. You know, you've got players tied. You haven't got a strong bench, so you know overall, probably a fair result. A game, if we had a full squad, we probably would have wanted to win and expected to win. Yes, we could have won it, but the way the game went, a draw is probably a fair result, and you know we'll move on to the next one.
And as well, I think we've drawn our last two away games as well. I don't think Newcastle have a great record when it comes to 5:30 kickoffs, but it's not a bad result. We stay in 6th, I think, which is pretty good, because you know you've got to consider the start we had in the season. So overall, Dad, how are you feeling? Are you disappointed? Are you?
I think overall, you know, the start of the season, we lost a few games, didn't we? And there was a bit of negativity there, but we've started to improve. My concern is now is the depth of the squad, because we've got, you know, in the Carabao Cup still, we've got that game to play. We've got games against Dortmund coming up. We've got games against Paris away, and we've got Milan at home in December. So, you know, we do really need, we can't bring any players in. I know Lewis Miley, it could be an opportunity for him, but he's got glandular fever. Anderson's out with a back injury for 3 weeks. So we need, the players are going to get tired, because it's demanding to play at that level for so many games, you know.
And as well, like you said, I mean, I totally forgot about it, to be honest, guys, but we've got Man United versus Newcastle. That's going to be a very
tough game.
Very interesting game. We've got that. Then we're going to the Arsenal game as well. That's going to be a tough game. I think Arsenal beat Sheffield United 5-0.
Yeah.
So,
and Nketiah scored a hat-trick.
Overall, guys, get your thoughts down below. What do you think about the penalty? Was it a penalty in Newcastle? I think in the end it probably was.
A really difficult one to call. I think initially I thought it was, but let us know who you thought your man of the match was for Wolves. If you're a Wolves fan watching, Newcastle fans, let us know. If you're a neutral fan, did you see the game? What did you think of it?
Who would your man of the match be?
I thought Lascelles was really good. I thought Miggy or Lascelles. Sorry, not Lascelles. Miggy or Shaw for me.
I think probably I'd give it to Miggy, and I just want to quickly touch on Gordon because I know I haven't really touched on him, but he was okay.
I thought he tired in the game. In the second half, he looked really tired. But the first half he did create some problems for Wolves with his pace, but I thought he looked really tired from about 60 minutes on in the second half.
Joe Linton certainly improved.
He looked a bit better, because he's come back from an injury in the last couple of games. He hasn't looked great, but today I thought he looked a little bit better. Today he looks to be getting back to his old form, so that's positive.
But yeah, guys, I mean, we'll take the draw. I'm sure you said, before the game, would you take a draw? Of course we would, but it's a shame that Newcastle couldn't win in the end. Let's hopefully bounce back and beat Man United.
Fingers crossed.
On the in the Carabao Cup. But anyway, guys, make sure to subscribe. Let's try and get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thanks for all the support on the videos. It's been, you guys have been killing it recently, so thanks for the support as well. Get your thoughts down below, like my dad said. Who do you think's man of the match? What do you think of was it a penalty in Newcastle? Do you think Eddie Howe should have made substitutions earlier on? But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.